Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Boots on the Ground. We are going to dive into ethical boycotting, economic boycotting and ethical consumerism today. But let's get through our mission statement. Next slide, Jessamy. Boots on the Ground was created to bring all members of the leather, fetish, and kink communities together to fight against the tyranny and oppression taking over the United States. We will fight so that we retain our inalienable rights given to us by the U.S. Constitution. We will educate ourselves to know how our democracy works. We will make calls, attend commission meetings, protest, march, create connection, and build community. Democracy will not die while we watch. We will fight, and we will win. Next slide, Jessamy. All right, I like to do a land acknowledgement. I know this is performative because we're not giving back the stolen land. However, I feel it is important to know about the indigenous peoples that came here before us and pay homage to them. So we are going to do a land acknowledgement. Boots on the Ground recognizes that we reside on lands once inhabited and held sacred by the first peoples. For nearly 10,000 years, indigenous groups lived in South Florida. The Tequesta, Miccosukee, Seminole, Muskogee, and Taino peoples once lived in what we call Broward County. These distinct indigenous communities were among many others in South Florida considered ancestors of the present-day federally recognized Seminole Tribe of Florida and Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida. I encourage all to learn about the significance of the early inhabitants. With a collective knowledge of the past, we are inspired to teach, to live, and to support a future that empowers us all. Next slide. If you have not signed up yet for our weekly newsletter, go to botgfl.com and go to the newsletters tab and sign up now. It is the 24/7 news cycle condensed into small bites so that you can stay informed without going crazy following the news all day long. And I really hope you take advantage of this if you're one that does not read the news regularly, because I try to highlight the big stories of the week and some of the wins that we have, because every week there are wins. Don't let them take your hope away. We have wins every week, and I want you to see that and lace up and learn our weekly newsletter. All right, and then I would like to take a moment to thank the people that helped me. Will and Sylvie here in the Eagle, and thank you for the other people attending in the Eagle. It's nice to have community, yay! And then I would like to thank Infinity Angel for the Zoom. I'd like to thank Jessamy for hosting the Zoom. Thanks, Jessamy. Big John for hosting the website, Allie for graphics, and I would, of course, like to thank Chuck and Greg of the Eagle Wilton Manors for allowing us to do this here. Next slide. All right, now we are getting into the meat and potatoes of the class. Welcome, wallet warriors. Your wallet isn't just cash, it's a vote. It is a superpower. It's a revolution in your pocket. Today, we're going to dive into economic boycotting and ethical consumerism, and why ethical consumerism is not truly possible in a capitalist society, but we're going to learn how to mitigate the harm that capitalism does to our society. We're going to spotlight real wins, real times that economic boycotting made a difference. We are going to look at the choices that we have made and how those choices ripple and affect not just our pocketbooks, but the oligarchs' pocketbooks, those big corporations. We want to make them blink. That is the point. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my story. I am a compulsive shopper. I am very compulsive about my shopping. One of the things that I learned was that I am shopping to fill something inside me, make me feel better, give me a dopamine hit. And it's the same reason people use drugs, alcohol, food, sex. I use that same way with shopping. I went into a 12-step program and I got clarity. And you know what else happened? I stopped shopping compulsively. I stopped wanting to buy everything. I stopped strolling online all the time, scrolling and scrolling, looking for things to buy. And it felt better. I got rid of Amazon Prime. I got rid of Amazon entirely. I don't shop on Amazon because it's convenient. I don't shop there because it's an oligarch owns that company, and I don't need more of my money to go into his pocket or his stock prices. That's my personal boycott, and I hope you guys will take that Amazon boycott to heart as well. But if you're not there yet, don't worry. We have other ways you can definitely protest using your wallet. I realize that when I start shopping intentionally rather than randomly, I find peace. Because you know what? I am not buying into this consumer culture that wants me to buy, replace the old, get the new, throw away the old. I don't do that anymore. And it feels really good. And we're going to talk about ways you can get that feeling too. Oh, next slide. And then next slide after that, it's slide number 7. All right. So we are going to do an icebreaker. Zoom, put it into the chat. I want you to tell me one purchase this week that you felt good about, and one purchase that made you feel, I could have, I could have done without it, or I wish I would have bought something different. So what's one good purchase you felt this week? I, for one, I went to a small local donut shop, and I got some donuts, and they were delicious, but it was nice supporting small business. And my one that I felt meh about, it was I shop at Walmart. I do grocery shopping at Aldi and then Walmart. And I don't feel really good about shopping at Walmart, but it's the cheapest prices and where I can get what I need to get. So it's a necessary evil. So how about in here? What's a purchase you felt good about?
Instead of buying a book from Amazon, I go to this site called Libris, and it's a used book, so trade paperbacks. And I always feel so good because I only pay, actually the shipping is usually more than the book is. Rather than buying it for $2 on Amazon, I go to Libris.
So Master Laurent goes to Libris and buys books there instead of buying them from Amazon. That's a great way to cut the cord with Amazon. Libris, Libro.fm for audiobooks. We're going to talk about the library and all other ways. Does anybody else? Yes, Will.
We have Charmer Girl, says aloe plant to begin learning to use aloe for my skin instead of buying commercial salves.
I love that. So what Charmer Girl said, she got an aloe plant so that she can use it for skincare rather than buying it. What a great way to make a ethical choice. Anything else we got? All right, we'll move on now. Now, one other thing I want to ask you. Let's go to the next slide, Jessamy. That's slide number 8. How powerful do you think your dollar is? Do you think 1, it's not powerful at all, or 5, my dollar controls what people do? What do you think? 1 through 5. Let's hear it. 4. What about you guys? What do you think? Do you think your dollar controls what people do, or do you think it doesn't matter?
I think individually it doesn't, but collectively, we
So-
make a punch.
Individually, it doesn't matter, but collectively, we make a punch. I love that, Master Laurent. Anybody online? Go ahead, Ellie.
I think it changes the culture narrative of what we accept.
Absolutely. It changes the culture narrative of what we accept as consumers. That is true. We vote with our dollars, and when we don't buy something, it shows. It's a point. So let's go ahead. Is anybody online? Did anybody? Okay, good.
Just on the last question.
Okay, no problem. So let's go to the next slide. And we're going to talk about historical boycotts. We're going to talk about 1955, the Montgomery bus boycott. If you were here for the Black Civil Rights Movement class that I gave, you will know that the Montgomery bus boycott was after Rosa Parks refused to sit in the back of the bus. 381 days, the Black people of Montgomery, Alabama boycotted the bus system. They walked, they did ride shares, and they would not ride it. And you know what? That led to the start of the modern civil rights era. Was that boycott. It sparked the civil rights movement and desegregation. So boycotts have power not just to affect economic change, but to affect social change. Another one is in the 1980s, South Africa was under a racist system called apartheid. Very similar to separate but equal here in the United States, but there are some political differences. We're not going to get into that in this class. However, global boycotts tanked South Africa's economy. They had to end apartheid or their economy was going to continue to be mired in loss. Nelson Mandela, who was imprisoned for years in South Africa and then became leader of South Africa, he called boycotting a weapon of the weak that became a tool of the strong. And that very much is it, because like Master Laurent said, individually our dollars may not have a lot of impact, but collectively they do. Now, let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about the boycotts in the last couple of years, the ones that rocked 2024 and 2025. We're going to go over the boycotts, and then we're going to go over the wins from those boycotts. The first one, the Economic Blackout Revolution, People's Union USA. They launched a 24-hour and multi-day freezes of different companies that were targeting and eliminating DEI policies. Target, Walmart, and Amazon. February 28th kicked off with millions skipping buys, followed by a 40-day Target fast, and I still don't buy at Target. I've not bought at Target since this. A 3-day blackout 2.0, July 4th freeze, and more. If you go to the Economic Blackout Revolution website, you will see when their next economic blackout will be if you want to be a part of it. The next one, if you are concerned about your money going to companies that support wars around the globe, there's BDS, which stands for Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions, Global Wave. So BDS, it's they did boycott Starbucks, boycott McDonald's, and Coke. Because McDonald's and Coke are in a lot of areas and they are supporting conflicts in a lot of areas. Not directly, but indirectly. And because of this, they were targeted by BDS for boycotts. The BDS has an app called BDS, and it tracked millions and skipped spends. So the next one, Tesla takedown. When Elon Musk was in Doge and in the government, we were having Tesla takedown protests in front of Teslas all over the United States. And what happened? Musk's stock dropped 70%. He got the fuck out of Washington. And that's what we wanted. You know, unfortunately, they did a lot of damage, but at least we got him out. And that was the power of the Tesla takedown boycott. The Disney Plus boycott, when Was it Jimmy Kimmel? Yes, Jimmy Kimmel. I had a moment. I was like, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel was canceled because he made an inappropriate joke. And within a week, Disney Plus caved. And he was back on the air because 1.7 million Disney Plus subscriptions were canceled. And they said, whoa. And they felt that. And you know what? It brought him back in the air. And you know what? He just won an Emmy. So, next, Spotify. Spotify was running ICE recruitment ads, and we boycotted this. Now, some people say it was the end of the ad period. Some people say it was the boycott. Whatever the reason, they're not running ICE recruitment ads anymore. So boycotts work. Starbucks. There's a current Starbucks boycott because they're trying to unionize, and there are a lot of Starbucks workers that are out on strike trying to get a union started. Starbucks is horrifically anti-union. So go to Dunkin' Donuts if you want a coffee. Don't go to Starbucks. Support the striking workers. So let's talk about some of these wins that we got from these strikes, these boycotts. Target had 11% store traffic drop. 11% is huge for a store like Target. 9% web decline. And that is another huge number if you're looking at shopping metrics. Their stock plummeted 33%. A third of their value was lost because they got rid of DEI. And their CEO went MAGA. Well, guess what? A few months after all this happened, the CEO retired. I think he was probably pushed out. Yeah, I really do. And again, the power of boycott to affect change. Walmart and Amazon saw traffic wobbles during the economic blackout revolution. Stop buying days. Let's go to the next one. McDonald's. McDonald's was down 1% in the first quarter of 2025. This doesn't seem big to you. That is huge. McDonald's measures stuff in less than 1% changes. They are stable, but they saw a 1% drop. Of course, McDonald's is now seeing a bigger drop because of the economic disparity in our country and around the world, really, but especially in our country. People can't afford fast food anymore. Fast food's gotten too expensive, and people can't go out even for a burger anymore. That is going to be very telling, and I think we're going to see some alignment in prices to the reality of consumers' wallets and pocketbooks, because we can't sustain this kind of buying of cheap food like McDonald's food. If you can't afford cheap food, what are you going to buy? All right, Nike, because of the economic boycott, they were down 12%. Their net income was down $211 million. Amazon had stock dips. They had protests. We're going to get into Amazon a little bit more later. Tesla, like I said, their stock price dropped 70%. Elon Musk, of course, just got a few months ago got one of the biggest pay package in history, $1 trillion. Why that man deserves a $1 trillion pay package is beyond me. But that's what's happening now, because the inequality between the haves and the have-nots is widening, and we are going to see we're going to see trillionaires, and there should not be trillionaires. There should not be. There shouldn't even be billionaires. We talked a little bit about Disney. In 1 week, 1.7 million subscriptions were canceled, but in a month, they had 3 million cancellations of subscriptions. Potential hundreds of millions of lost revenue dollars. People spoke, and Disney felt it, and they responded in the way we wanted. That is the power of your dollar. All right. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, next slide, next slide. All right. Let's go to slide 13, Jessamy. The one that's toolkit, make it yours. So one of the things I want to talk about is I want to talk about how to start your own personal boycott. Pick 1 or 2 targets. It doesn't have to be everything I'm talking about today. You don't have to go down and download all the apps and suddenly start spending like a totally different person. That's not what I'm asking of you. I'm asking you to pick 1 or 2 of the targets. What you feel strongly about. What would make you feel better? Because at the end of the day, this is not only a tool for the working class to talk to the oligarchs and the corporations that control what we buy and how much we spend for it. This is also about making us feel good about what we purchase, being intentional about what we purchase. Like I said, as a compulsive shopper, I know the desire to shop and shop and shop and get all the cute things. Dresses alone, my closet is packed because dresses were my big thing. But now I actually only bought 5 dresses last year. I used to buy that in 1 month. And so it was a big win for me. It was a big win for me not being such a conspicuous consumption. So I want you to pick 1 or 2 targets. And then we're going to talk about consuming less and directing your spending. So one of the things is that when we go on a site like Amazon, it's everything. Everything is there. It is overwhelming with the choice. And we just want to buy. We want to get everything possible we can because that's what the system is telling us. Don't let them brainwash you. I want you to think about what you're buying. If you really want it, wait 3 days. And if you still want it, go ahead and buy it. Another thing they get you with is sales. Every time there's a sale, my heart goes, oh my God, it's on sale and I'm going to get a good deal. And the thing is, I end up spending more because I think I'm getting such a good deal. These are all marketing tactics that are meant to manipulate you so that you buy more and you buy more and you buy more. So keep in mind when you are watching TV or scrolling online that these ads are affecting how you see shopping and consuming. So it is a way of retraining our brains. So when we see an ad wanting us to buy something, take a minute and talk to yourselves. How does that make me feel? And when you start thinking about it, you start realizing, why do I need this? I don't know why I need this. And every so often, I buy something on impulse. But you know what? It's rare now. And it's because I want it. I want it right now. Like today, I went and had ice cream, and they had Rocky Road Fudge, my favorite. I bought a thing. I'm like, I impulse shopped. I'm not going to beat myself up over it, but I recognize what happened. I saw my favorite thing. I wanted it. I bought it. It was a split-second decision. I didn't even think about it. But I really try to be intentional about what I shop for now. Now, let's go to the next slide. Ethical swaps and hacks, all right? Shop local. If you can shop from small businesses, shop from small businesses. They are the ones that are keeping our community together. It's not Walmart. It's not Publix. They're not doing that. It's the small mom and pop businesses, your local Chinese restaurant or your sushi restaurant or your nail salon. Spend keep those dollars in your neighborhood, in your community. The other nice thing I like to do, there is an app called Red Hen, and it will connect you with local farmers in your area that you can either pick up produce, meat, eggs, milk, whatever is in your local area, you can either, some of them even deliver, and it's, or you can pick it up. It's a great way to get farm fresh produce straight from the manufacturer, no middlemen. And it's called Red Hen. And all this will be on, all of these resources I'm going to be talking about are already on botgfl.com, our website, under the resources tab, and it's under economic resources. So if you missed it during the class, go to the website and you'll have it all there for you. The other thing, I want to talk about libraries. I love the library. I was a library goer since I was a little kid. And then for about 15 years, I stopped going to the library. I just bought my books. I was like, oh, well, then I have them. The thing is, I would buy books and I'd read a chapter or two and I'm like, I don't really like this. I don't know why I bought it. And then I never finished it. And then I donate the book. Now I go to the library, I can get all the books I want, and if I don't like any of them, I can just return them. The other great thing about the library is not only do they have books, they have audiobooks. So if you're an audiobook listener like me, Libby, Hoopla, Cloud, those are all library apps where you can get audiobooks for free right to your phone. You just need a library card. The library also has tool lending libraries, technology lending libraries. If you need a camcorder or a nice SLR camera or things like that, you can get one loaned to you from your local library. The other thing that was a game changer for me personally was when I found out they had video games. Yes, if you're a console or a computer gamer and you play with DVDs, the library has video games that you can check out. That was wonderful when I found that out. So don't think of your library just as a place for books. Think of it as a place where you can go and pad your pocketbook with your own money by borrowing stuff rather than buying it. Let's see. Next, we're going to talk about nothing and free cycle, buy nothing and free cycle movements. On Facebook, there are groups. They're called Buy Nothing or Free Cycle, and they are usually in like Buy Nothing Boca Raton. You know, they're a place where people are like, "Hey, I got this old lawnmower. Anybody want it?" Or I have this couch or this table or, you know, this weed whacker. I don't know why I'm going with all the lawn stuff today, but you know what I'm saying. If you have something you don't want to donate, but you know, if it's too big or bulky and you just want it picked up, free cycle, buy nothing movements. It's a great way. I had a electric gynecological chair that tilted back and the thing left, and I loved that thing, but it was so heavy and it had gotten some problems with it. I put it on the free cycle thing and within 2 days it was out of my house. And he's like, I can fix it and sell it. I'm like, you do you. You know, and that's what, and so don't throw your stuff away. Free cycle it or do a buy nothing group and find some place for it to go. Because capitalist systems rely on us buying the newest, the best, the next one. Recycle it. Buy from eBay. We're going to get to there. And actually, we're right there. eBay. Then you have clothing apps like ThreadUp, Depop, and Poshmark. You can go to thrift stores. There are so many ways. And bartering is still a thing in the United States, believe it or not. I have bartered lease, you know, I used to do the lease renewals for my nail salon. And so I always got designs on my nails for free. It was a barter. I did their, every couple of years I did their lease renewal, I got designs on my nails. So bartering is still a thing. If you've got a skill, barter it for something you want. Stay out of the cash. All right. And then we were talking about redirecting, where we are going to redirect our money away from big box stores to small stores. The other thing, bookshop.org is one of my favorite places to buy books. Bookshop.org is going to be more expensive than Amazon because they support local independent booksellers. So when you buy a book from them, you are supporting local bookshops. And so if I'm looking for a new book that I don't want to wait, I buy from bookshop.org. The other one I like for books that are older, thriftbooks.com. Is it .com or .org? It's on the thing. Thriftbooks.com, I think it is. That's another great place to buy your books. Libro.fm for audiobooks, Back Market for tech, Etsy. Who does not love Etsy for home goods? Everything at Etsy it's small businesses. So it's a great place. It's a clearinghouse of small businesses that you can support. If you need to take a ride share, next slide, please. If you need to take a ride share, use Lyft over Uber. You know why? Lyft supported the ACLU. Uber supported the Republican Party. So guess what? Get rid of Uber, go Lyft, go the pink mustache people. Because you know what? They support progressive values. If you want to shop in a big box store that are DEI positive, Costco, IKEA, Macy's, and World Market are all good places to shop. And they have progressive policies and are usually good on workers' rights. Let's talk about Amazon hacks. And we're going to talk about Amazon again because I just have a thing for going against Amazon. I use Amazon to browse. When I got rid of Amazon, I would keep a wish list on Amazon. And then when I was ready, I would price it other places. 8 out of 10 times I found it cheaper, even with paying shipping. Amazon is not a good deal. It is their, on books, those are their loss leaders. They deliberately undercut the price of the books to get people there, but everything else, you've got to do your due diligence. Do your comparison shopping. Because guess what? They aren't always the cheapest, even with that free shipping. And who needs everything the next day? I mean, unless it's your medication, you don't. The other thing I do is if I see something I like and it's on Amazon and it's not an Amazon product, I look at where the seller is and then I go to the seller's website and I buy directly from the seller. I cut Amazon out of the equation. Delete the app. If you are going to continue to use Amazon, do it just through a web browser. The app makes it way too easy. Make it a little harder on yourself so that maybe you're going to not take that step to buy it on Amazon. And cancel Prime. Like I said, who needs everything the next day? We are been cultured now, conditioned to say, I need it the next day. We do not. That is not the way things have worked for millennia. And just because we can do it doesn't mean we have to. All right, there's a few other resources. littlebluecart.com if you want to buy from minority-owned businesses, LGBTQ-owned businesses, women-owned businesses. Littlebluecart.com is a great place to go to find shops and companies that align with your values. We ain't buying it. If you want to not support companies that support the Trump regime, we ain't buying it.com. And they will tell you all the companies that have supported Trump. And you can see and decide what you want to buy and what you don't. Good On You and Boycott are also good apps to use if you want to become a little more ethical in the choices you make. All right, next slide. Alrighty. So now, yes, Will.
So we had a few people in the chat offer some recommendations.
Yes.
One was Redbubble.
Redbubble.
That's a great way to support artists.
For supporting artists.
And then others commenting on Etsy that they allow something called drop shipping. So we need to be sure to check out the seller before buying things. It's very oversaturated with things now, so we have some caveats.
So Etsy, so somebody was saying that Etsy has dropped shipping, and sometimes you're not buying from a small company, so keep an eye on that.
Yeah, so Redbubble seems to be a good recommendation.
But Redbubble is a good recommendation, so good. Thank you very much for that. All right, so now we've talked about economic boycotting. Let's talk about ethical consumerism. When I was creating this class, I thought long and hard, do I want to say economic boycotting and ethical consumerism? Because you cannot ethically consume under capitalism. The capitalist system is based on exploiting workers for the most profit imaginable. That is the goal of a capitalist society. We are not truly capitalist because we do have safeguards in the form of government rules and regulations that's supposed to put a guardrail around these things. However, with Trump in office right now and all of the chaos he has created, a lot of those guardrails have been broken. However, what we can do is, or let me talk a little bit more about this, is that ethical consumerism shifts the blame from the companies that are benefiting to the consumer that is getting used. So the thing is, it's not your responsibility to destroy a capitalist system by not buying anything. It's just not going to happen. We don't live in that culture. We live in a culture, it's a consumer culture. We consume more than we produce. That is the nature of American society today. So the other thing about ethical consumerism is that it is inherently classist. If you are buying ethically sourced goods, they are going to be more expensive. Like an ethically sourced chocolate bar could be $10. Who can spend $10 on a candy bar? Not a lot of people. So in a way, when you are buying ethically sourced goods, it is really a way of, the Catholic Church used to sell indulgences. So if you did a sin, you can buy an indulgence from the Catholic Church and it just washed your sin away. And that's kind of what ethical consumerism is. It's like buying an indulgence and saying, well, I did my part to save the planet. And you know what? You absolutely did, but it's a very small part of it. So what we are going to talk about today are ways that we can make less impact in a capitalist system, ways that we can be more thoughtful and intentional about what we buy, and ways that we can support our neighbors, our communities, our society, and not just big multinational conglomerates. Now, I want to tell you something about how capitalism works and how stores do surge pricing. So, when you go into a grocery store, there are usually at least 3 different items. One is low price, one's mid price, and one is expensive. Based on what you buy will tell the store we should stock more expensive items or we should stock less expensive items. The mid price is just, always there. But based on your buying habits depends on what options you are presented by each store. So if you always shop in Publix and always buy the most expensive thing, you're going to start seeing more expensive things in Publix because they're like, our consumer wants this. So even if you don't think your choices matter, they absolutely do. Because when you are at your local grocery store buying stuff, and you are buying something that's more expensive, and 30 other people are, and only 10 people are buying the cheaper stuff, that means your choices have become limited because the store is going, the metrics that they have to figure out these kind of shopping behaviors are insane. So they're going to change the prices, and you are going to end up spending more for your goods and get less selection. Alrighty. Next slide. All right. So I want to talk to you about how I did this with my grocery habits. I was a Publix shopper. I love Publix. My dad was a Publix shopping center developer. I have managed many Publix centers over the years. I love Publix. Yes, Will.
In the chat, we have one of the participants asking about is it ethical for someone to spend $40 on ethically sourced chocolate while on food stamps, while they're buying it with their own personal food stamps? They were asking for
that has nothing. You know what? I don't care if it's food stamps or a $100 bill. It's what you choose to spend your money on is your power and your right and your choice. What I'm trying to help you do is make the more ethical choice for yourself. This is not the grand ethics of all that this is how it should be done. I'm not telling you that. I am saying that when you shop intentionally, that is where real change comes from. Talking about food stamps is just making this a class issue, which I've already said it is. Okay? So, anyway, like I said, let's go back to how I did this with my grocery bill. I was a Publix shopper. Publix is a more expensive grocery store. It's a nice grocery store. However, I was trying to cut costs and expenses, and I was trying to really keep an eye on my budget. So I decided to start shopping at Aldi. Aldi is a German chain. Aldi and Trader Joe's are German. So guess what? If you want to shop at a grocery store that is not going to affect the American economy, Aldi and Trader Joe's are German companies. So just a little heads up. Aldi also, their store brand is really good. I even like their Swiss cake roll store brand better than Little Debbie's. I was like, woohoo! And so then but I couldn't get everything at Aldi. So I was like, well, where else could I shop? And I'm like, I was shopping at Winn-Dixie, and then they closed the Winn-Dixie, so I couldn't shop at Winn-Dixie anymore. So Walmart was my next choice. They were cheaper, they didn't have as much variety, and I could feel okay about it. I didn't like it because I don't like that Walmart is very anti-union and that most of their workers are on food stamps because Walmart does not pay a living wage. However, I had to make that choice, and it bothers me every time. Even at the beginning of the class, I said I felt about shopping at Walmart. I have to do it. And then the last thing I do, if I need any specialty items, like I was making pignoli cookies the other day, I needed almond paste. Walmart does not have almond paste. So I went to Publix and I bought almond paste. But I shop the least at Publix. So what I did was I changed my shopping behaviors. I literally go to Aldi, and across the street, there's a Walmart. I go to Aldi, buy what I can, then I go to Walmart. If you can't do that, make the choice that works for you. This works for me. I feel good about this choice and buying my groceries in this way. Could it be better? Yes, but I'm not perfect, and I am not trying to say you should be. Make a better choice for yourself based on your values, your beliefs. Alrighty, so now we are coming to the end of the class. Do we have any questions from anybody? Feel free to put them in the chat. Do we have any questions in the Eagle?
We have some comments in the chat about.
Yes, please.
I would say it's about pricing strategy. We have one of the participants says that they recently heard about a concept called dynamic pricing. And the idea is that if you shop at Publix, for example, at 9 a.m., you pay a certain price, and then the price fluctuates when you shop later.
In certain industries, that is true. Dynamic pricing is a real thing. It's called surge pricing as well. so that at certain times of the day you're going to spend more. That is not usually in grocery stores. They are not that nimble, but be wary if you see prices that are on a little that can be controlled by a computer and change instantly, because that dynamic pricing and surge pricing is probably going to be in effect. Anything else? All righty. So we have unlocked the cheat codes. We can make a difference in the way we spend, in the way we consume, in the way we recycle. Corporations fear the power of collective action. They know when a boycott gets legs, they are going to suffer economic consequences. There's one other thing I have not put on here, and I just remembered it now. There is a call for a general strike. General strike means everybody who signs a strike card on the day the strike is called, you do not work, you do not buy, you do not consume. There is a website, generalstrike.us, I believe it is. Sign up if you're interested in that. They have not called one yet, but one of the things I want to talk about in Minnesota, where all of the horrible abuses and the 2 people that have been killed by ICE there, 3 people, excuse me, that have been killed by ICE there, they did a general strike in Minneapolis. They closed businesses, people walked out. They marched in negative 20-degree weather. And they called a strike because they said ICE out of our community. And they weren't joking. And they are still striking and still resisting. And if they can do it in negative 20-degree weather, you can do it on the safety of your couch and deciding what not to buy from. So I hope that you take some of these ideas and put them to use in your own life, because I think you'll feel better, and I know our country will be better. So, next slide is the resources. By the way, these classes, if you want the deck, you want my notes, I put those on botgfl.com under the classes. Each class is uploaded to YouTube, and I have the PowerPoint and the notes on a Google Drive. Feel free to use it, look it over, take it for your own use, teach the class yourself. I want the information out there. Okay? And then, as always, last slide, we are going to close our session with a little communal chant. If you want to sing along, feel free. It is the one that's, Jessamy, it's the one that says loosen, loosen. It's the last slide. All right, we're going to sing it 3 times. And then we're going to see if there are any questions, and then we're going to end the class, okay? Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Thank you. Do we have any final questions?
Waiting.
Okay. Thank you.